Well, New York or Florida, Florida or New York. Since New York lost the plot, it's been losing New Yorkers too. Crime, COVID mandates, and plenty of rats have pushed many to make the jump, move south. Since crime and COVID lockdowns became uber trendy under Mayor Bill de Blasio, even some lifelong New Yorkers said, no thank you, I'll have what they're having down in Florida under Take No Woke Governor Ron DeSantis. I myself spend much of the year down in Florida. Certainly don't have to sell me on the obvious benefits, and no one had really argued about the benefits of leaving the crime and grime of New York City for Florida's sunny pastures and lower taxes, by the way, until now. In a New York Post opinion piece, Cindy Adams, well-known Cindy Adams, argues that she's New York all the way, calling Florida a, quote, snooze fest, and, well, pretty much says New York wins the contest in a battle against the Sunshine State. Now, this is a showdown I'm up for. I'm here for this, and we're bringing it to you in full balanced style tonight in the very first installment of our ongoing series, Florida versus New York. In this corner, we'll call it the blue corner, John Tabacco, host of Wise Guys with John Tabacco here on Newsmax. And in the red corner, we have fighter Bianca de la Garza. She's a co-host of John Bachman Now. All right, let's get started, shall we? I'm going to start with Bianca because I spent a lot of time with Bianca, in the same office. I love Florida. Why is Florida better than New York, Bianca?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm so glad you brought this to the attention of the American people. I read this op-ed today, and Cindy Adams is an icon, but I think she's leaning on some really big stereotypes. Florida is better for so many reasons. You're a Wall Street guy, and so isn't Johnny Tabacco here. First off, the taxes are so much better. Your dollar goes further, and in this day and age, that really matters to people. I love that, and I also think part of this whole debate about it being a snooze fest, personally, I'm okay having an early dinner at 5. I like my beauty rest. And, if 40 is the new 50, ladies,
Bianca,
we need our 8 hours.
I'm laughing out loud because it is the one drawback. My wife and I go to dinner, and she's like, let's go at 6 o'clock or 6:30. I'm like, are you out of your mind? I used to live in New York. I came from New York to Florida. And we go to dinner at 9, 10 o'clock at night. I love that. Tobacco, you got a tough sell here, my friend. New York over Florida?
Well, first of all, around 6 o'clock in New York, I'm on my third martini. So we're just finishing our liquid lunch around then. So compared to New York, Florida is a snooze fest. But Eric, as a former New Yorker, as a former monster in the financial business, everybody that wants to be somebody, you want to play in the big leagues. And if you want to be, especially in the financial space, the advertising space, social media space, you're not in New York, you're playing in the minor leagues. Florida may be cool, but I'm with Cindy. Every time I go to Florida, I love the sun, I love the beaches. I can't stand the amount of people roaming the streets who look like they just escaped from a rehab center. And one of the big things that I'm seeing now, quoting U.S. News and World Report, all my Floridian friends are talking about how much money they're making. In Miami-Dade, in the last 2 months, house values are dropping 3 to 5% each month, median price values. In Broward County last month, house values down 7 to 8%.
All right. Okay, let me throw it back over to Bianca. He threw some fire at you. Go ahead. You want to respond?
Well, I lived in New York, so I do speak from experience. And New York is not the same New York that I think so many of us did love. And unfortunately, I don't think it's coming back anytime soon. And if you want to throw statistics out, Johnny, I can tell you, last year, more New Yorkers fled to Florida in 2022 than any other year. And these are just the ones that changed their license plates. So you even have to admit that Florida has a lot to offer. In fact, all those hot restaurants where you have liquid lunch and martinis have outposts down here. So you can still get world-class dining. And albeit, maybe a little more shut-eye, but as a lady here, I've always been told nothing good happens after midnight.
I don't know.
Okay, final thought, Tobacco. Your final thought, by the way, you got to address all this weed smoke on the street and all the rats, and it's out of control in the last couple of years. I'm not so sure it's another tough one to defend.
If you go to Miami, you got the weed. In Florida, you got these big water bugs the size of rats in New York. And finally, Eric, New York, of course, you could never get pizza in Florida, not a single slice that equates to anything in New York. And one of the other things I'm sure you guys miss very much down there is fresh mozzarella. You cannot get it down
That's
there.
true.
When Bianca
That is true. That's true. Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. I'm going to make the final call on this. I'm going to make the final call because you know what, John Tabacco? You want to know something? Florida's going to win because half the freaking state of Florida is New Yorkers that came down, and we can get fresh mozzarella in Miami and Boca as well. Tabacco.
Johnny, come down.
Bianca,
Spend the
thank
weekend.
you guys. Yeah, come on down.
Thanks,
come on
Eric.
down. All right, guys. Thank you so much.